Right now we're going to add a domain controller. We're working in PLAB DM01. We're going to go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. Click Next. The installation type is going to be role-based or feature-based installation. And basically it's telling you you're configuring a single server by adding roles, role services, and features. We'll go ahead and click Next. Here on the server selection screen, our plabdm01.practicelab.com server is selected. We'll go ahead and click Next. On the feature selection, we're going to select Active Directory Domain Services. And this right here is showing you all the other services that get installed along with Active Directory Domain Services. And that would be group management, remote server administration tools, which has all these subcategories that's included in it. We'll go ahead and click Next. And this screen shows you all the features that will be getting installed along with Active Directory. So if we scroll down on the list, you see Group Policy Management is going to get installed along with it. Remote Server Administration Tools. And we'll go ahead and click Next. And we're now on the confirmation page, and it's basically giving us information on what Active Directory Domain Services does. I'm going to read through it. So Active Directory Domain Services, ADDS, stores information about users, computers, and other devices on the network. ADDS helps administrators securely manage this information and facilitates resource sharing and collaboration between users. ADDS is also required for directory-enabled applications such as Microsoft Exchange Server and for other Windows Server technologies such as Group Policy. It also gives you some very good tips here. One, to make sure that your users could log on in case of a network outage. Make sure that you have 2 domain controllers on your network. Also, ADDS requires DNS server to be installed on the network. If you do not have a DNS server installed, you will be prompted to install the DNS server role on this machine. And finally, installing ADDS will also install the DFS namespaces, DFS replication, and file replication services, which are required by ADDS. We'll go ahead and click Next. We'll put the check mark in the confirmation. It's telling us here that the server is going to automatically restart. Click Install. We'll go ahead and click Close. Now the server has the yellow exclamation mark indicating that there's a notification. So there's still post-deployment configuration that's required, and we'll go ahead and promote this server to a domain controller. So this deployment configuration gives us the option of adding the domain controller to an existing domain, to an existing forest, or to a new forest. In our situation here, we're going to add it to an existing domain, which is Practice Labs. That's pre-filled here. We'll go ahead and click Next. Right now we need to select a password. Go ahead and click Next. Next. We're going to keep the default paths. So the database folder is located in C, Windows, NTDS. The logs folder is the same location, C semicolon / Windows / NTDS. The sysvol folder is located C, Windows, sysvol. Let's click next. This is the review of all the specifications we put in. We'll click next. It's giving us a few standard warnings. We could go through this. Let's go ahead and click install. And we're installed, and the computer's gonna restart. So on PLAB DC01, we created the IFM files, and that information is here on a shared drive on drive Z, and then this is the IFM file. So now I'm going to go to my standalone server, PLAB SA01. We'll click on File Explorer, and on this PC I'm going to right mouse click, and I'm going to select Map a Network Drive, and I'll go ahead and put the address in for that hidden share. Okay, so this is the IFM file on PLAB DC01. I'm going to right mouse click, select copy, then I'm going to go to the C drive, and remember we're on PLAB SA01. Going to right mouse click, and I'm going to paste the information here. Now we're going to go to Server Manager, and again we're on our standalone server. As you can see, this is PLAB SA01. It's part of a work group, and that's why we need to perform the install from media operation. So let's go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. We're going to next, and then on the server pool, of course, we're selecting PLAB SA01. Next, we're installing Active Directory Domain Services. We'll go ahead and agree to all this stuff. Next, and next. Installation is complete. We'll go ahead and close the wizard here, and we'll go back to Server Manager. As you can see, we're on PLAB SA01 in the work group, and we need to perform post config work, and we need to promote this server to a domain controller. We'll go ahead and do that right now. We're going to go ahead and supply the name of the domain, which is practicelabs.com. And on the admin credentials, notice that there's nothing here this time, and that's because, again, we're on a workgroup computer. So we're going to provide the credentials for the administrator. Go ahead and click OK. We're going to configure a global catalog server. We're now working on PLAB DM01. And let's take a look at the tools available here. Looks like it's not set up as a domain controller as of yet. We'll go ahead and do that right now. It's plab DM01. Plab DM01. All replications are coming from plab DC01. All the default locations, database folders, and C Windows NTDS, logs, C Windows NTDS, sysvol folders, C Windows sysvol. And let's complete the installation. The computer's going to restart now. Alright, so the server's rebooted. We're on plab DM01. We're rebooted. We're going to go to Tools, then Active Directory, Sites and Services. We're going to expand Sites, then Servers, and expand plab DM01. Now on the NTDS settings, let's right mouse click and go to Properties to make sure that the global catalog is checked. Let's click OK. Now we're back at plab DC01 and we're going to verify the SRV records in the DNS server. Little background: SRV service location records are automatically created on a domain controller's preferred DNS server. Network services that are essential for Active Directory, such as a global catalog, LDAP, and Kerberos, are associated with a domain controller which provides authentication and directory referrals in a corporate network. Let's go to Tools, then DNS. On DNS, we're going to go to Forward Lookup Zones. Sites, that's going to be our default site, practicelabs.com. Then click on TCP. Notice the multiple instances of Kerberos and LDAP. These actually point to domain controllers recreated during these labs. The _GC stands for Global Catalog. We're going to go ahead and minimize the DNS manager. We're now back at plab SA. We're going to go to Tools and Services. Let's scroll down to Net Logon. We're going to right mouse click it and start it. Let's go ahead and close services. We're back at DC01. Let's open up the DNS man. Just press F5 to refresh. And if you take a look here, you could see this is the entry for PLAB DM01, and this is the entry for PLAB DC01. Let's open a command prompt and do a Nslookup. The syntax would be server plabdc01.practicelabs.com. Let's hit enter. To enumerate the SRV records, we're going to type ls-t srv.practicelabs.com. So the query refused error that we're getting means that the zone transfer is disabled. Let's go back to the DNS, and this time we're going to select practicelabs.com, right mouse click, go down to property. Let's select zone transfers, click on allow zone transfers, and click OK. Let's go back to the command prompt, and we're going to run this command. That is ls-t srv.practicelabs.com. Let's hit enter, and the command executes. Well, that concludes the vid on installing domain controllers. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you go ahead and like the video, share it, and subscribe.